about Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, is it obvious? Hey guys, I'm Ty. I am going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool is a 2024 superhero action comedy. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as the titular characters respectively. It also stars Matthew McFadden as the antagonist Paradox and Emma Corrin as the villain Cassandra Nova. It came out in July. It did big numbers. People are saying it's saving the MCU. I don't agree. Different conversation for a different day. It's just literally the biggest blockbuster, like summer blockbuster of the year, basically. Good for them. They're like the Barbie of 2024. I bet you guys are wondering, like, what is there that you need to give to us? Because Queen, we've already seen the movie. We've already seen so many reviews. We've already seen so many theories and details. And like, what are you, a 19-year-old girl, going to do for us? And I say, I'm going to take this a different route. I came out of that movie, literally verbatim, I said to my friend, I was like, this is the best rom-com I have seen in a hot minute.
I said what I said!
I know you guys are like, girl, what are you talking about? But look, let's see if I can convince you by the end of this video that Deadpool Wolverine is a rom-com. So, Deadpool and Wolverine is obviously promoted as a best friend comedy. It's like a buddy cop film, and it's kind of like the culmination of what everybody has been waiting for the past 15-16 years. We've been wanting a redo, a reunion, if you will, of Deadpool and Wolverine. CNN, they've made an article about the anatomy of a rom-com. I will link the article down below, but they have a bunch of different lists and things that are in typical rom-coms. And as I was reading this and doing research for this video, it was very like, okay, yeah, I see a lot of these elements in this movie. And there's a particular thing in the movie that also inspired me to just make this video. CNN says that in every rom-com there is a main protagonist. She's usually the main girly. She's usually either very quirky and like excitable or very grumpy and busy. Now, in this case, the rom-com protagonist for Deadpool Wolverine isn't a girly, it's a boy, a man, if you will. But very similar to your typical female protagonist. Wade Wilson is the outgoing, bubbly person who talks a lot. Most female rom-coms, according to CNN, have a wacky job. Like a job that you won't really see IRL that often, but it's portrayed a lot in a lot of rom-coms. Example, Pretty Woman, the girl is a hooker. In Deadpool Wolverine's case, Deadpool, you know, he has a wacky job. I mean, throughout the series, he was always a mercenary. In this movie, he kind of has an interesting job. It's like initially he was here to join the sacred timeline, the 616 Earth. You know, that was the goal and all that stuff. But after being told that he's the only one that's going and that his universe is falling apart, his job is to find Wolverine and replace him as a new anchor being after the original Logan died. Spoiler alert for Logan, I don't think anybody cares. Died in the events of Logan. So that's his big job. That's kind of wacky to me. I mean, like, you don't see that every day. Like, that's a wacky job. I think that counts, in my personal opinion. Then you have the love interest. CNN, you know, they talked about the love interest. Usually is played by a heartthrob actor, very attractive actor 90% of the time. Like, good-looking, rugged type of love interests. And they have a dark past. They're typically grumpy. They have an attitude with the main love interest, and they slowly soften around them. But that is basically Logan's like role in this. You know what I mean? He's very grumpy. He has an attitude. Like, he just doesn't like listening to what Wade says. He is just like, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? You kidnapped me from my universe, and now you want me to save yours? Like, bro, you crazy, bro. But he has a dark past as well. You know what I mean? Like, we are revealed later on the things he did, or lack of a better words, didn't do in order to save and protect the X-Men, and then what happened later on in the events occurring after the X-Men all died. Every single love interest, for the most part, has a past. It doesn't have to be dark, usually it is, but they have a past, you know, and rom-com specifically, it's not usually typically super dark for reasons because it's a comedy, but in this case, you know, duh. Like, you, right, every rom-com, there is always some sort of meet cute, right? A meet cute, for example, is a interaction between the two leads where it's like an awkward interaction. Usually, sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's like, oh, this is kind of awkward, but it's usually an interaction where the characters first meet up with each other, and you know, it's usually comedic. So in Deadpool and Wolverine's case, their meet cute is when they're in the bar. You know, it's like a very awkward but funny interaction where it's like Deadpool has gone through all these different Wolverines, but then he finally finds one in a bar, and he goes up to him and he's just like, you know, hey, I need you. Like, I need you. Like, I need you to help me, Pookie Bear. And he's just like, look, lady, I'm not interested. And it's just like a whole thing. They're interacting, they're arguing, they're already bickering. Like, we just interacted with each other for the first time. We already bickered. And then the bartender's over here like, you gonna fuck or fight? Like, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? It's so funny. It's really great. And we all know that the answer to this is yes. In most rom-coms, there's always an obstacle that the two have to overcome together. There's always some sort of forced proximity in these rom-coms. Big example. I mean, hello, we got a rom-com MVP in this cast. Hello, Mr. Ryan Reynolds. He is also in a rom-com called The Proposal. And the whole plot is that Sandra Bullock's character, she is a boss. He's her assistant. She's really mean. Karma finally gets up to her, you know, Karma is a boyfriend. No, anyways, basically they're like, you're getting deported back to Canada. And she over here like, what? Actually, that's not true, because I have a boyfriend. And she chooses Ryan Reynolds, and she's like, we're getting married, like, LOL, we're getting married. He also uses her as a way to like impress his parents. Deadpool and Wolverine's little goal is that they have to get back out of the void and into their timeline so he can save his world, and possibly, it's a possibility, it's an educated wish that maybe, just maybe, we can help out Logan and save his world and his life as well. You know, they have tropes, right? Like, there's a lot of tropes. A good example is, this is a classic haters to friends to lovers storyline, right? I mean, like, obviously people are gonna be like, when did they become lovers? I'm saying towards the end. Every rom-com needs chemistry or else the rom-com won't work. That's why Anyone But You was kind of mid. I mean, I love the way that they were interacting outside of the movie, but Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell did not do it for me in the actual movie. But in this movie, the chemistry is off the charts because they're literally played by best friends. Like, duh, that's the only reason why this works. Hello, best friends off screen are really great with chemistry on the screen. So Ryan and Hugh have been friends ever since X-Men Origins Wolverine. They've proven that throughout a lot of their promo. Like, they're just literally like, best friends, just like very much like, okay, we best friends. Like, obviously, like, that's my twin. Like, you know, like, we like this. They know how to like bounce off of each other, you know, they know how to like, you know, this one says this joke but this one comes out with another one, and it's like woo, 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 woo. The chemistry is off the charts even when it gets a little too serious. Like, for example, the iconic monologue that Hugh said,
I've never met a sadder, more attention-starved, jabbering little prick in my entire life. I wish I could say you die alone, but it's one of God's best jokes that you can't die, except it's on all of us.
and then they have like a quirky best friend trope. Now technically Wade has like 50 of those, but they didn't really appear that much in the movie. But the person who's filling in for the best friend trope in this movie is none other than, in my opinion, Nice Pool, played again by Ryan Reynolds. Quirky best friends in rom-coms, you know, Catherine Hahn is the inspiration for Kate Hudson's character in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. She can't keep a man. Her mans are always leaving her. Kate Hudson's character is like, well, maybe it's because, you know, I mean, look at you, you're a mess. You know what I mean? So she uses her best friend as inspiration to do How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days as like a reverse psychology of things not to do when you're dating a guy, and that starts off the plot of her with Matthew McConaughey, who's also in Deadpool Wolverine. The best friend in this storyline, and if you fit into the best friend trope that like kind of juxtaposes everything and kind of like pushes the plot along, is Nice Pool, because he's the reason why they were able to get to the Borderland. He was like, you want to go to the Borderlands? Oh my god, bestie, you can't have my dog. Sorry about that, like you can't have that. But I can help you, besties. Okay, let's go. And then like Wade and Logan just cannot stand Nice Pool because he's just so annoyingly nice. And so they're just like, we agree we don't like him, right? You know, like we agree we don't like him. Okay, this is voiceover tie because my camera sucks and I have to get a new one. But anyways, music was a huge thing in Deadpool Wolverine. A lot of the songs that they chose were very meticulously crafted on purpose to tell the story. There's a huge example, two big examples I can think of where it's like, okay, is it interesting that you chose this in the moment of the film? First example is You're the One I Want from Grease, where it was using that song. It was during the Haunted Odyssey scene. They were fighting, and the Haunted Odyssey in itself is a metaphor for sex because there's like the moments in rated R rom-coms where the characters, there's a lot of tension and they're trying to break that tension through sexual intercourse. You're the One I Want is basically a song like, hey, I want you very much, like, you know, in a romantic. In Deadpool Wolverine, they're using that as the background music. There's like a lot of romantic implications behind that, and a lot of sexual implications between the Haunted Odyssey scene and the way they talk to each other. Next thing is iconic Like a Prayer moment, where they're using the song Like a Prayer by Madonna, which is a euphemism for sexual intercourse, and they use it as background music to when they're fighting all the Deadpools, and then when they are about to hold hands and save all the universes. It's just really interesting that they chose these particular songs in the particular moments of the movie where it was like very intimate and could be used as romantic and sexual implications, especially when you think about how they were literally holding hands to Madonna. But yeah, that's just overall how I feel about this movie. There are so many moments that are in the movie where I'm just like, oh, I feel like this is giving a rom-com. It just didn't feel, to me personally, like your average buddy cop friendship movie. That is what I feel about Deadpool Wolverine and it being a rom-com. What do you guys think, man? Like, I want to know your opinions. What were your reactions to the dynamic in the movie? Do you agree with me? Do you think this movie is a rom-com as well? Did I convince you if you didn't at first? Like, I want to know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Okay, guys, bye!